All right. Hey, what's going on, Super Creators? So, this is the live stream at 5 o'clock that I promised you. I'm a little late, but we're going to get started and jump in right through. And I'm just going to introduce our guest, Kabali on VFX. Goes by that alias. Anshil's going to hop on live, and I'm going to bring him on right now. Let's go.
Okay, it finally worked.
Did it work?
I think so. You can see me, I can see you.
I see. So it was on my fault. It was on my end. That wasn't working.
I guess so, but we're good now. Camera is recording on the side. Microphone's all hooked up. I have a mic under my shirt
Nice.
too. So hopefully we should be good.
That's dope.
Yeah, man. So,
All right, well, let's get this started.
yeah, sounds good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Honestly, right now I'm in Houston. It's hot over here, and I've been inside,
Yeah.
staying away from the sun, so.
Yeah, southern summers are really something else, aren't they?
Yeah, no, I've been doing photo shoots like over the weekend, and I've just been like blazing, I think last weekend it was like 99 degrees, but like plus humidity.
Right.
So it was just like, it was bad.
Right. Yeah, man. I don't miss my time in the Midwest. I'll tell you that much. I remember this summer. I can't imagine the South. The week of straight humidity was absurd. But how are things in your world? Everything good with creating, or obviously
Everything-
slowed down, I suppose.
Yeah, things have slowed down, but I think the main thing or the most important thing that's happened is I've been able to really step back from projects that I didn't want to do, and like works that I wasn't really like excited for, and just kind of like say yes to the projects that I didn't want to do and focus on my thing. So even though like production, like working on stuff went down, but it gave me just like a lot more time to think and clear things out.
Absolutely. Like I'm glad you said that, actually, because that's kind of in the same boat I'm in. Is you get someone to work mode, and I know we've talked about this before, is like client work versus like personal work, and of course you want to have a healthy mix of both, because client work pays the bills, and personal work is more fun 100% of the time usually. But it's difficult sometimes when you're going at 100% full speed the whole time to slow down and kind of examine like what you really want to do and what your direction is. So I'm in the same boat where I really feel like slowing down kind of helped me like figure out what exactly I want to do next, and if it's a reach of a project, now I have all the time in the world to go do it.
For sure. So before, because just to give like a little context, so basically this is pre-COVID, right? Pre-quarantine.
Right.
Like, what were the projects that you were working on, and like what was your I guess your day-to-day, and how has it changed since then?
Man, it was all music, really, in which I love music and I love what I do there, but after a while I would say I was shooting 2 to 4 times a week, and then I would sit right here at my desk and edit the whole cycle, and just almost felt like a machine, just from one thing to the next, one shoot to the next, and sitting in front of the desk. And after COVID, I canceled all my shoots. I know some people are still doing them, just to stay safe, really. Personally, I don't find it wise to be around a bunch of people during this time, and it really had me sit down and think. And like, I'd always wanted to make a short film, so I was like finally able to write this. It's just a 90-second to minute 20 short. Tap in with some of my friends who are into short film sound scoring, and get that rolling. But if this was 3 months ago and there was no lockdown, or 4 months ago and there was no lockdown, I wouldn't have been able to do that, or would have been on the back of my mind maybe, but I wouldn't have done it.
It would have been just one of those projects that stays in the notepad.
Absolutely.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that's hit a lot of people. Like I've seen both ends of the spectrum where it's like, it obviously it's affecting everybody, work wise, income wise, but I think some are really using it to like stay healthy mentally and stay in like that, like really focus on them. And honestly, like I mentioned at the beginning, that's kind of like what happened on my end was like there was a lot of work lined up for like I would say up until now, up until just before like July and August, but it was a lot of traveling.
Right.
So there was some traveling, to Florida, some traveling. I think to Cali. I probably would have ended up in Puerto Rico somehow. And just from one month to the next, it's just like even though like I felt good about it because I'm like, all right, good. At least the first like 6 months of the year, I'm not gonna have to worry financially. Like,
Right.
these are the gigs. I don't need to pick up anything else. But then all those got canceled, so I was just like, all right, what do I do now?
Right.
And I think the first 2 months, like February and March, it was rough because the income stream maybe got cut down like 70%.
Same, yeah.
But it was like, it was enough to just get by. Like I realized like, okay, I just need to pay electricity, rent, cell phone, keep the Wi-Fi on, keep my phone
Right.
on, keep the lights on. And yeah, it just gave me time to think about that, like little small projects, just like you said, the short film.
Right.
So
Right, yeah, that's exactly the same experience I had. It's like initially it sucked and you kind of feel like the world is kind of melting around you because, in a way it is, there's so much going on. But you start to realize that, like, there's simple things that you can do on a day-to-day. And, like, I felt initially really swarmed by it, especially mental health-wise. And, like, dealing with personally, like, I suffer from a bit of depression, and dealing with getting in a routine kind of helps me jump out of that. So like the more on go I am, the less I'm, like that, but kind of understanding yourself better mentally and being able to think of ways you can combat without, just being outside of the house all the time or on go 100% of the time. And those kind of mind games you can play with yourself to still be creative, but maybe not actively creating as much. They go a long way. I think so. Like, yeah, in a similar boat as you, for sure.
That's dope. So then, because I think this is gonna help out a lot of people, because I know as creatives, like not creating or not being able to get out the house and things like that, sometimes we do, like you mentioned, we suffer through a lot of mental health. There's depressions, there's anxiety, and all these things. So in your case, if you want to expand a little bit, what has helped you to kind of regulate your day-to-day now and just kind of like keeping everything in check?
Right. For me, I think I figured out ways to create that. Previously, like, I used to go out hiking a lot. I used to go out exploring, like, especially sunset shots. And, those are fairly low risk outdoors. There's nobody really there in a lot of these spots I go to. So that's definitely helped me, actually go out there and get the creative part out. And then the second thing that's helped my mental health is, I think this is one thing that kind of goes against you after a while, is when you're in a routine and you're not really seeing, you don't see the jumps from it every day. You can go out and shoot 2 to 4 times per week, but you don't see those kind of results, and you definitely don't see them in your career or in your day-to-day work, but you are improving. But it's hard to see. And getting away from that and thinking, like, okay, like, I really wanted to make this Kobe short film. Like, I would think about it in the shower every day since, the day he passed away. And getting, like, those ducks in order and finally, like, taking that leap and being like, you know what, I'm going to do this, and this is how I'm going to do it. I think that was, like, a lot of mental clarity for me to kind of get over, depression or being trapped in that kind of rat race of, like, okay, now this month I got this bill, I need to shoot at least 4 to 5 things in the next 2 weeks, and, like, I got to figure that out, and not having to really worry about all that anymore, because my overall spending has gone down in general. My commute has gone down. Not eating out anymore, none of it. So I mean, just getting to sit back and think about like the basic things of why do I like utilizing a camera? Like, why do I like taking photos? It kind of just brought it back to the original, like how I first fell in love with using cameras to me.
Oh yeah. Damn, that's definitely, I think that's the big point, because a lot of things that what you said is, and not just for creative entrepreneurs, I think more for us also, just because we're more, it's a self business, it's a personal brand, like you're always grinding, you're trying to grow, you don't want to give up any opportunities, so we do get stuck just like creating one thing after another, and like you said, you don't see the growth, you just see like output,
Right.
Like this is exported, this is emailed, this has gone out.
Right.
But even like that, just taking a step back to remember what kind of things you like shooting, why you got the camera in the first place. And that's a lot. Even when this first started, I think I did I tried to do a 30-day challenge. I never complete them. I think I did 15
Sure.
days where I tried to film. I didn't want to say like a vlog, because it wasn't kind of like a vlog. It was more just like make something as interesting as possible, even if it's mundane, and just put it out daily. And I was able to get like a lot of videos out, and then I realized there's so many opportunities to create and to shoot outside of the dope spots, the adventures, the crazy landscapes,
Right.
and things like that. Like you can really make something awesome just in your living room, in your bedroom.
You definitely can. You definitely can. I was looking at, I forget who it was. I was scrolling by something on Instagram, and he literally made a short film about how much he hates quarantine, and it was hilarious. Like, like it was just him in his house, and just one actor, just him. I'm assuming he lives alone, and it was incredible. Like it was just the things he does in his daily mundane now life is. Like stuff like that. There's so many things we look over because we always want like the next, like we want to take somebody to the coolest spot in the world to go shoot portraits of them, or like the hill by your house isn't good enough to go take a sunset shot. We need to go to a national
out
park.
there, 30-minute drive. Yeah.
So there's definitely that, and I think it really just brought back the basics of why people got into it. And I think financially in the short term, it's terrible, but I think in the long run it teaches you a lot more about respecting the art you got into and why.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's 100%. Actually, I was just having conversation with a friend on here on IG yesterday, and they were talking about like slow motion is not cinematic and drone shot is not cinematic. Like, stop using those terms and things. But one thing that I like realized through that was I've been shooting a lot more still framed video and letting just kind of life and the motion that's happening like on the other side of the screen just kind of like take play. And I've enjoyed those videos so much more, where it's just like, set up a tripod here, put it here, not too much like movement and not like trying to slow-mo and transition left and right, but just really just film directly like what's in front of the camera. And I think, like you said, bringing it back to the basics, that's one of the things I realized, that those type of shots tell so much like depth in story. And it just made me realize like I want to shoot more of this kind instead of like whatever all the hype is right now.
Right, for sure. I mean, that's how cinema started, like, and what we do, you see a lot of gimbal shots and a lot of high movement and a lot of speed ramps, but like at the end of the day, when you walk into a movie theater, and especially if you're watching a drama, most of those shots are very still to this day. Yeah. And if you can create a still shot that looks good, I think you can pretty much create anything that looks good. Like, that'll go a long way, because and I'm guilty of this myself, is I do gimbal work a lot, and a lot of the times I know what I'm shooting in front of me is kind of boring, but I'll use like a clever movement or something to give like some sort of redeeming quality to the shot when I shouldn't be shooting in the first place. But man, I see this question here. It says it would be interesting to see how y'all have kept motivated to create. So I'll let you go ahead first. Yeah.
Me? All right. So first of all, 413 Photo, thanks for the question. Honestly, so what's kept me motivated, and it's kind of, I guess, backwards for me a little bit. Doing so much client work kind of bogged me down and made me like not want to create. And what made me motivated was like, now I can just create what I want. Like, I'm like, honestly, I enjoy this, having like this conversation, because I'm able to interact with you. I'm able to create together. Like, you know, we can share ideas. And that's what I like about creating. That's why I like sharing a vlog or, you know, a photo or a podcast or whatever, is because I get to share with someone else what I'm going through and just make it like kind of like free and personal. So that's the thing that like motivated me the most, was just like, now I can create content that connects with other people instead of just, you know, a video for a sales funnel or whatever, you know, whatever other like commercial type of work. So that's the thing that's just like kept me motivated. Just, it's my work. It's my, like, it's fun for me, really. It's like, it's a hobby and more than a job.
Right. I'm pretty much in the same boat with Manny. I have one thing where the reason I told myself I would keep shooting and pretty much never stop is I just know I'd be getting into stuff that could get me in some trouble if I didn't. Like, I felt like it was just such a positive outlet for me, like, early on, and it helped keep me away from, like, some of the trouble, like, some of my friends were getting into, and, like, it always, like, just had me be a little more, you know, I had my head a little on straighter because I just wanted to do this, like, you know, I wanted to do this more than, you know, go fuck around and go, you know, go stay at a bar till the last call. Like, it's just all I really wanted to do when I started doing it. And I just know if I left it, like, it would be really easy for me to go back and, you know, start socializing with wrong people, or go back to like a lifestyle that I don't want to be a part of.
Yep, I hear you 100% on that. Yeah, I think, like I said, I mean, it goes back to the main thing is keeping our mental health in check. Like, there's so many things that, you know, I've noticed from now, you know, everyone that I follow, I really consider like a friend and even close to family, because I see them every day. Most of the times we talk every day, or at least, you know, I know that they went to Target or Starbucks or wherever they're, you know, like,
right.
I know their day-to-day, whatever they share. So it's like, we're always together.
Right.
But I've seen a lot of people post on how they've taken a step back to do a lot more like meditations in the morning, to really be present, to do some journaling, you know, and even pick up hobbies like cooking and crocheting and stuff like that. And I feel like these are things that we've always wanted to do, but since we're always in the 9 to 5 grind, or in the, you know, 10 to 3 a.m. grind for for all the other personal work, now people have the time to actually live the life that they wanted and do the things that they're passionate about, instead of just trying to, you know, wake up, go to work, come back, you know, prep for the next day, cook something, watch one show before they pass out. And like, now people are like, you know, it's like we're living up to our potential. And I feel like, even though economically it's hit everybody, but I think now people are just like a lot more happier, and they're a lot more present with like who they are and what they like and what they're feeling.
Right.
So I think that's like amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I've definitely noticed that too. Is I think there's like a certain pressure, and especially in American society, where we rely so much on consumerism, right? And, you know, nothing you make is ever enough, because you're always buying. And I think, you know, being inside and realizing that you take all that away, we're all inside, and we're pretty much more or less the same, doing the same thing every day, besides those Floridians that are ruining everything. That's a different story. But with those of us that are doing the right thing, I think you start to realize that like maybe I always did have enough. Like maybe I was making enough money or doing things that made me happy, and maybe I was just living wrong. Like I feel
Yeah.
closer to my friends and now, and all we're doing is playing video games on Discord here and there. We're not physically hanging out whatsoever, but I still feel just as close or even closer, knowing that like you can strip all that away and we're all the same. Now I know it's hard, not having that kind of physical space, and especially when creating. Like I like to shoot a lot of portraits, and having that kind of like I think portraits are like a very intimate experience with you and the person, because they're literally inviting you into their life. Or like a lot of the stuff that most of the stuff I would say I shoot is very like personal to people, and I miss that a lot. But I know somebody else out there is going through the same thing. Is a musician might miss being in the studio with a bunch of people, or having not getting the same energy, having to make it from their home, and I can definitely see that. But I think it's important that it teaches you mentally that like life's a lot bigger than what you do in the moment. We're so focused on, like you said, going to work, coming home, hoping we can finish our Netflix show, binging it on the weekends, and it's just not the way to live. And being at home makes you appreciate the little things, like if you have family or friends, and keeping close with them. I think just if this time taught me that I like the basics of photography, and taught you that you like the basics of photography, it also taught me that I like the basics of socializing too. Like at the end of the day.
Yeah. I think that's I think the biggest thing really, and I've seen it for like a few years, but like you can't escape it. Like you said, in America we have to work to live,
right?
But it's been like we just live to work, and I think that's why it's so like when I see somebody trying to break out of their shell and like build up their own like business or personal brand or whatever, like I'm always so super supportive, because I know that everybody has such a potential to do a lot more, but we don't do it because we don't have the hours or we don't have the money, you know what I mean? So it's like everybody's like struggling like just to make things like pass by, that we'll just pick up. Like even during this time, a lot of times I've been like, I just need to pick up any job. I just need to like go grab something. Like, I keep like telling myself like, oh, stop being stupid. Like, be financially stable, make sure that it's there. But I'm just like, no, I don't want to do that, because then I'm just going to be filling up a void with something else that's also empty, just so that I can like get by, So it's like it's not gonna help anything. So even though whenever this quarantine like ends, I'm not gonna have learned anything from it, So that's why I stayed away, and I'm just like, you know what? No, figure out with the means that I have how to make it work. Like you said, spending less, and I'm really just focusing on myself, focusing on the people like around me and friends, like you mentioned. Like it's amazing how relationships have grown during this time, and like I've been able to even express things to people, and people have been able to to express deep thoughts of themselves to me, and it's just like it's awesome. I feel like that humanity of conversation, of even like social media, like the socialness of social media has been coming back, and it's awesome. I'm always here to see people just like being themselves and like being naturally and genuinely happy.
Right. Yeah, I definitely feel the same way. Like it kind of allows you to like scroll a little bit more and like pay attention to like what the people around you are really doing. And I think in a way it's connected more people. And then there are times where I personally disconnect with kind of the trends of it. I know we've talked about this before, that I don't really like social media. I just use it because I have to. But I think I was pretty surprised. Like last week, there's just so much going on in the world, but we always find a way to talk about something that's not productive. Like
Yeah,
like so
for sure.
it seems interesting to say the least.
Yeah, but I think we needed it. It was really like the 2020 was like people say the cultural reset. Like it's something that we needed to just like hit ground zero, like just hit the bottom and like start focusing on like exactly what we want to do and what we should be doing. So, big question because I don't want to lose it. And I know that you mentioned that you had that the short film that you were working on, and I caught real quick something that you said about it, and you mentioned that it was about Kobe, and then I see the jersey behind you, so I want to hear about that. What is that project about?
So it's pretty much it's something simple. I thought of like when I was a kid, like a lot of these, like I played basketball horribly, but I played. Like I always did the bare minimum. Like I played AAU ball for a long time, and you start to realize real quick that you're you're not cut out. But
Yeah,
still love the sport, And I had um, like after Kobe passed, I remember I had like grown up on watching like Nike ads with um, Kobe, LeBron, and all these people, and it kind of showed like the environment they came from or like their mentality. And like in a minute to 90 seconds, like you just got so much insight about this person's like mentality. And like I loved it. Like it was the most motivational thing in the world to me. Like no matter if you're talking about it purely on a sport aspect or like life aspect, I feel like everybody could take something from it. So
mm-hmm.
I wanted to like bring that back in my own way because like although I loved those ads, like I just didn't like how they were like they weren't showing like directly how he had affected like a kid or something. Like it was just him talking about like how he made his own life. And for this jersey is actually for a child that I'm giving to this weekend when we start production. And It's essentially this kid starts off watching Kobe highlights. It's the opening shot. His face is like foot from the screen, if
Glued.
even.
Yep.
And his dad comes and turns the TV off, and we're gonna go through a montage of him like scrubbing the floors, like shooting his laundry into the hamper,
It's
missing
a basket.
everything, and eventually he gets to the basketball court with his dad, and he's missing everything, and his dad's playing really hard defense on him, just blocking every shot. He's one of those dads. And the kid hits the Kobe fadeaway, and both him and his dad get really hyped. And that's the end. Like just kind of like what Kobe taught me personally is put like 1,200% into everything you do. So kind of like show how that affected that kid. Like he doesn't complain when his dad turns on the TV. Like he does everything he's supposed to go play basketball. He doesn't complain that his dad's playing hard on him. Instead, he finds a way to still get it done anyway. And kind of like put myself and what I saw in Kobe when I was a
Yeah.
kid to like this kid, and just project that onto him. So I think it should be fun. I think it should be fun.
That's awesome. That I can't wait to see it now.
Yeah,
That's
we're shooting
amazing.
for it to be done by 8/24, just to keep it both Kobe's numbers 8 and 24, and
Oh, nice.
uh, so we'll see. The sound guy has a hard job. I have the easy one. So
Yeah. Right? How do those guys do it, man? I'm always astonished by the pictures when they show like the film sets and they show like 18 guys just carrying the deflector for the sun and the one sound guy's like running.
yeah, he'll have to do all of that plus scoring it. But I'm really happy he was stoked to take the gig, and there's nobody I would
Nice.
want working on it than like a personal friend. And I'm happy me and him are finally going to get to collaborate because we've been talking about doing like a short film together for so long. And I was always like, dude, I don't have resources. Like, I want to do a short film. I want like $20,000 at least to like make it right. But
Yeah.
being at home, you
Yeah, you can't. You got to get it done with what you got.
home, you start to realize that like you don't really need all that
Yeah.
if you start thinking the right way. So
That's awesome. That's dope. I'm super excited about that. I remember I had the chance maybe 2 years back to do a short film, but it was for like a film festival competition, and they gave us 24 hours. So it was 24 hours. You had to film it, edit it, and basically, me and my friend, we just he hit me up about it, and I was like, sure, why not? Let's do it. And we just went to like this one place that's kind of like a open office, like kind of like those WeWorks type of areas. But it's like it's a whole building, and we just shot everything there that one night, and like we just made it work. We're like, okay, this hallway has like that creepy lighting. Let's use that. Oh, this one room has the one like light here. Oh, let's use this whiteboard. Let's mask it out. And it was just like, we had to get it done. And at the end, I was just like, that's amazing. We actually got something done like in 24 hours. And I think we won second place on that. So I was like super excited.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But like it made me realize like you can get things done if you're under pressure and if you really want to. So it's
Yeah, I definitely concur with you. So I'm hoping we can follow that here, fingers crossed, and get it done by 8:24. Yeah, I told him, I was like, hey, if I shoot this Saturday, I'll have the edit done by Monday at the latest, and then it's all you, and you have till August 24th to finish it. So, and
awesome.
he says like, okay, it's a pain in the ass, but I think I can. So,
yeah.
I'm gonna get a lot of calls. I'm imagining at 1, 2 a.m. being like, "Oh my God, this is a disaster. I don't know what I'm doing."
I don't know.
But
Nice.
bless those sound guys, man. They have the hardest jobs
Yeah.
in the world.
Honestly, I don't mess with sound too much because it's like, it's for that reason. Like I know the bare minimum. Like I know a little bit. Like make sure it doesn't clip, and if I need to add some sound effects somewhere, but like that's it. Besides that, I'm a wreck.
Basic mix, and I don't want to learn more because I can only
This is
take
a
one
whole-
frustration in my life, and that's throwing video clips together. So
Yeah. That's awesome. So I wanted to ask, I mean, I guess to kind of wrap up, but just like going forward, what do you think would be the best things for creatives to look into right now in the sense of like how should they use this time wisely while we're here? Because I don't think we're going to be in this for too long, God willing, like it finishes quick, but if this is still like continuing for the next few months, like how do you think they should use or invest their time and like
right. I think go back to what's developing yourself. I think that's the most important thing is go back to if there's a specific skill you wanted to learn, like editing wise, I always wanted to learn 3D. Starting to work a little bit on that. Slowly and frustrating, but I'm starting to work a little bit on that, and I think going back to something that's going to develop yourself, like something that like when this is all over, you're back at it, and you're going to be better than ever, and you can go utilize that day one when this is over. And I think that's the most important thing. And the second thing is like, past the work, take care of yourself, like mentally, because it's really important, man. And I know a lot of people, it's more difficult to be positive and be regular right now than it is to, be kind of low on your spirits. And I think taking care of yourself, whether that means like, if anybody feels that way, I know, just thought I should let them know you can reach out to me or Manny. But
for sure,
I think taking care of yourself it's highly underrated when it needs to be. And I know society wants you to be like this solid rock that doesn't express anything, but I think mental health right now is important, man. Like, and if you can't get that straight first, creating is going to be difficult. So, let's get through that wave first to the point where you feel comfortable getting ready to go out there and, going about your day. The rest of this stuff can wait. It's going to be here for a long time. But taking care of what's in here, man, is
number one. Yeah. No, I definitely hear that. And thank you for sharing that point, because it's like I said, I've seen a lot of people recently that, they show one, I don't want to say, yeah, they show one face, like, through social media or whatever, but then once you're trapped inside every day, it's like, it gets real, and you're with yourself, so you can't blame somebody, you can't hide it behind work, and you just have to like face it head on, and and it's tough. Like, I think the last month or two, I basically, like, I really didn't create much, I didn't post much, and it was just like, I didn't even want to be on, so like, I didn't check social media. I put like the screen time down on my phone, and like shut off all these apps that I don't need until like, after 8 p.m. or something, just so like I wouldn't be distracted and like be there. And I'm glad I was able to do it, because like you said, I wasn't creating because I was going through so many things at the time, like family-wise, health-wise, relationship-wise, work. And once I was able to just like really think of where I want to be, what I want, and just like focus on me. And even I had to tell a lot of people, I'm just like, yo, don't call me. I'm fine. Like, we'll talk when we talk. Send me a text and I'm good. No worries. I need my time, But once I was through with that, now I feel like I'm such in a place where, like, honestly, even if you would have asked me to do like, to do this podcast last week, even, I probably would have been like, you know what, nah, I'm not feeling it. Like, I would have come up with so many excuses, but now I'm able to take out the time to create, to actually be passionate, to be positive, like genuinely. And because all of that mental health that was blocking, I was able to just like kind of get over it. And I think that's really like the focus, like getting that in check, whether it's like, health. A lot of people don't like what they're eating or how they look. Then, okay, then take everything else out. I know for me, like, work took out a lot of times where I would be like, oh, I can't work out, or I can't go for a jog. And I was just like, you know what? No. This time, I need to go for a jog, even if it's 20 minutes. I'm going to drink, this amount of water. I'm going to just, like, I've been really noticing when I need to take breaks for my mental health, and when I need to just, like, chill out and just do nothing because I want to do nothing. And that's been like the biggest game changer of anything throughout this whole time.
Right. Yeah, I definitely hear you, man. And it goes back to, if you can clear what's up here, I think you can create it 100% of your potential. But if you have something weighing you down, like, yeah, you go out there, you go through the motions, but it's not going to be the same, because your mind's not, it's impossible, and there's nothing wrong with it, but it's really fucking hard to focus when there's things weighing on your brain and like give 100% of you. So I think, what you said is really important, and I definitely feel the same way at times, even regularly, like, without quarantine. I just need to take a break and maybe give a client back his work 5-6 days late. Like,
Yeah.
it's not gonna hurt him. But like, if I can't put 100% of love and effort into what I do, then I don't want to be working on it for you to just give it back to you for 48 hours. And I think, getting that in line, I think in quarantine it's a little harder, because, you're so, it's just you, yourself, and I a lot of times. So you got to figure out things to get clever, but clearing up what's in your head 100%, I think.
Yeah. No, and even it's funny that you mentioned that about like delivering client work later on, and it's true. Like, sometimes we just have to, and it's all in communication. It's all in communication. Like, yo, this week I can't, or these 2 days I can't, and I need some time. And then, because you're right, even if you're gonna put effort into working into it, you're not gonna get anything done. Because you're upset, you're pissed off, you're thinking about so many other things, and you're just like in front of your computer wasting time, scrolling through social media, acting like you're working, and like, I say that because I've been there, I've seen that, and I'm just like, no, if I need I need a day off, that's it. Today's my day off. Tomorrow I'll work on it, and I'll grind it out in like an hour and a half. Everybody's happy.
Right. Right. I think On a closing thought, one other thing I've noticed too is my friend. Uh, I believe I introduced you guys briefly, but right before COVID, my friend Legendary was talking, and we were kind of talking about, like just in general, just this week, this topic popped up again, and it's sometimes difficult with social media also affecting your mental health. And I've definitely had these thoughts before, and I know they're toxic. I know I shouldn't be thinking of them, but I'm just like, well, dude, why are my friends going to go repost Christopher Nolan's new movie, and like they're not gonna repost my short film, or like
Yeah.
they're not gonna, like my interview on Huffington Post, like they're not gonna read it, you know. And I think that kind of came back to light this week, a little bit, with, I kind of saw it from an exterior perspective. It's like right now we have an important Black Lives Matter movement still continuing in the United States. We have COVID-19, which has been politicized compared to most other countries, not named Brazil and India.
Hmm.
Um, and we've had um, just a variety of police brutality incidents in the next couple, in the last couple of weeks. And
Yeah.
we're talking about Will and Jada Smith's, infidelity relationship, whatever. And it's just,
Entanglement.
it, you know, it's terrible. Like how many couples have broken up during quarantine? I'm sure it's thousands. Like it creates hard things. But the fact that we're talking about that and not the important things, I think that is what weighs on me, on my mental health during this time more than, uh, you know,
Yeah.
more than all the other stuff you deal with in life. It just kind of shows you that our attention span as humans needs to be improved a little
Yeah.
bit.
No, yeah, and I know that's also another big thing. I know not only are people like in quarantine, but just the world news and world events has been, and even me, like there's been times where there's close friends and people that I follow that I really respect professionally, and then when I see some of the things that they're posting and saying, and I'm just like, is this really the same person? Like like I just want like either tell them off or like cancel them or block them or whatever. But then I realize I'm like, okay, there's something much bigger. I can't just see people for, for the one thing they posted or what they said. Like, okay, he might have some type of view, like, but let's not let that like continue to get in the way of all of us, because it's it's creating this extra tension that we just don't need. Like, okay, your political views or whatever, that's on you. But the moment that is thrown at me and then affects me directly, then I'm gonna say something. But if you're just throwing it out there and that's like, okay, that's you, I'm not gonna hate somebody just because of X or Y. Yeah, yeah. But definitely, that's one thing that has not helped a lot of people with the mental health, and that's why like another thing I feel I've used social media a lot more now just to connect and to socialize and not really check up on like the news and things like that, because I want to see people progressing and being happy doing what they got
Right,
to do.
right. I
So
definitely agree. That's one thing I think you and I have always had in common is just like literally like if you went out tomorrow and were like, I want to make a movie, or like I got a budget for a huge movie, I'd be like, that's fucking dope. Like, man, he's that dude. Like, he deserves it. And I wish, more people could see their whole society in those terms and be like, the people next to me are just as important as, the people that you look up to in magazines or TV or whatever. And I think that's something important to keep in mind going forward, is just the little encouragement to everybody's, passions or dreams. I think goes a long way. And
yeah,
I've been blessed to have, some close friends that have always been there for me in that sense. And there's I'm sure there's times you've thought about, you're like, man, I don't even know why I'm doing this shit anymore. Like, I don't know if I should be doing it. Yeah. So, but I'm always thankful to have those kind of people in my life to be like, just kind of set me straight when I get to thinking like that.
for sure. Yeah, no, I think definitely as like a closing note for everyone is support your friends who create things. Just in the most minimal way, like even resharing a post goes such a long way. Like I'll see people, even like I know some people who draw and like they're learning how to draw or whatever, and even though it might not be the best work, but they're trying something and they're better than me. Even if it's bad, like I'm worse, so I can't say anything, you know. And I'll share it, and I'm just like hype them up because it doesn't do me any good to like break somebody down and like critique them to the point where they're like crying. It's like no, like you're my friend. Like whatever you're doing, I'm gonna support. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna say what's up. Like whatever I can do, and I think that's the most important thing because the reason why we are expressing ourselves creatively in any way, whether it's making jewelry or drawing or photography or video, we're doing it because we need a way to express ourselves, right? That tension, that energy that we have is being shown through what we create. So that's why I think a lot of creatives get offensive when you talk about their work because, it's like part of us, right? It's like, it's like a thing that came from us. It's like our baby. So if you talk bad about it, like, don't talk about my son like that. But so I just think we just have to just kind of stop judging things so deeply and just appreciate everyone for the minimal thing of who they are and what they're doing and just like keep supporting and help everybody like grow and excel.
Absolutely, especially right now. I think you owe it to your friend, your brother, your sister, your distant person to just if they're gonna try something new, man. Like everybody starts at a different pace, and just encourage that. And if it makes them happy, then that's it, like
For sure.
like that's all you need to see, I think.
Nice. So do you have any final statements or
advice,
or
actually,
just
to the people
also
I
if
see
anybody
at
wants
Costco
to
and
ask
Safeway sometimes, wear a fucking mask. Yeah,
real.
wear a mask, because I don't like being that guy that comes around and scoffs at you, but I am that guy. Wear a mask, stay safe. Like really, wear a mask. I don't care if you believe in it or don't believe in it. If you think it's a hoax, that's cool. 6 months later, you can tell me it was all a hoax, but for now, just wear a mask.
Yeah.
And also, more importantly, Black Lives Matter, and that's a cause I think I'm very passionate about. And I, one day hope to see progression in the right direction coming from America into diversity, inclusion in a lot of these states that have a lot of minorities, and I'd really like to see. I'd like to go a year without seeing a black man being shot by the police, and yeah, that's
For sure.
that's about it.
A thousand percent on that one. But yeah, I mean, yeah, we just have to do like in our situation where we are with whatever influence we have. I just think we have to do our best to keep pushing forward to, for like what's right and what we need to do. And, like you said, even if people believe COVID's a hoax or not, or people are not for like Black Lives Matter and things like that, but just like think of the big picture of humanity and like what everyone's going through, and let's make this all work for, everybody. And even if if people don't understand something, then okay, that's fine. Educate yourself, or if you don't want to educate yourself, just like everyone's entitled to believe, right, what they want to believe, but let's see how we can make it all work so that everybody can, can live, everybody can eat, everybody can breathe, and just rock out. Like never forget, like we're really all in this together. Like the human race and humanity is like we're all affected by the same things. So there's no reason for us to like be so right, clawing in and fighting with each other.
Yeah, like from the top down, we, as a human species, are all equal. It's about time we start acting like it instead of, like doing things because you don't like the skin color of somebody else, or not wearing a mask because you don't believe in science. It's just like, come on, man. Like, let's just do this for the world. And the closer we can get that done, we can all get back to work and all move forward. And you can tell me what a hoax it was, and that's okay.
That's it.
But
Yeah,
let's just collaborate on this one.
for sure. That's awesome. Well, so I thank so much for hitting me up, and I love chatting with you always.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Super excited, and yeah, as soon as that video drops, let me know. And if any other projects and things that you're working on, let me know. You know, I'm always here to share, to like and comment, subscribe to everything.
100%. Yeah, I'll go ahead and send you this video clip too.
Dope, brother.
Yeah, for
Thank you
sure,
so
man.
much.
Yeah, hope you continue to stay safe, and looking forward to tapping in with you soon. Thank you to anybody that dropped in and
Yes,
listened.
thanks
Sean,
all of you.
thank you. Appreciate it.